you today? I am coming to you today with a little bit different of a video. If you haven't heard, which if you haven't, you've probably been hiding under a rock, but YouTube has changed a lot of their policies, or will be changing a lot of their policies in the coming month. It's hard for me to talk about this because it personally affects me, but basically YouTube has changed its rules for videos that can be monetized and channels that can be monetized, and they've kind of set the bar really, really high for channels and videos that can be monetized, which in some way is good, because that is kind of weeding out the people that don't take it seriously, or just kind of those like fluke viral videos. So that's good, but it really, really hurts us in the BookTube community, because BookTube is already a really small section of YouTube, and so even the biggest booktubers don't have a lot of subscribers or views in comparison with someone like Logan Paul. So it sucks, but we as the small BookTube community have banded together, and we have created this challenge. I guess it's a challenge. It's 30 videos in 30 days that they're calling the Strikeback-A-Thon, and it's basically small BookTube channels that we're going to be coming together and supporting each other, shouting out different booktuber names that you guys can get a chance to look at and see things that people that you wouldn't see otherwise, that wouldn't maybe show up in your recommended videos. Because now that the videos are not going to be monetized, it's going to be a lot harder to get into that search bar, or into, on the right hand side of your screen, those recommended videos or what to watch next. If the video is not being monetized, YouTube is not going to promote it. So this gives us a chance to do that ourselves. We're going to be boosting each other up, helping each other out, and supporting the BookTube community. So I am really, really excited to be a part of that. And so there's 30 prompts. I'm not going to do all 30 just because I have some other videos personally planned, but I'm still going to make sure that I am posting a video every single day if at all possible. I am going to kind of bulk film some of these so that I can get them out on days that I wouldn't normally film. So that is what you're going to be seeing for the next month here on my channel. Alright, before I begin, I just want to do my first kind of shout out, even though they're not super small booktubers, but this whole video-a-thon, well, I call it the Strikeback-A-Thon, was created by 3 people: Ben Sanders, Julia at That Bookie, and G Swizzle. And I will make sure that I post the links to their channels all in the description down below. You should definitely go check them out. They are amazing people and an amazing part of this BookTube community, so make sure that you check their channels out. Okay, so the first prompt for day 1 is books that you were inspired to read because of BookTube, or what I like to call BookTube made me do it. So that being said, instead of talking of a bunch of different books, because I am fairly new to BookTube, and to be honest, I watch BookTube videos all the time. I watch it instead of TV. So does that make me a nerd? I don't know, maybe. Anyways, I have so many recommendations from BookTube, and my TBR list has grown immensely since I started watching these BookTube videos. But I want to talk about 2 books in particular, one series, and that is the London Belongs to Me and London Can You Wait. These books I would have never heard about had it not been for BookTube. It's not something that showed up on my Amazon recommendation list. It's not something that I ultimately would have picked up on my own, but it is an amazing book, or an amazing 2 books, really. And London Can You Wait was my first 5-star book of 2018. So I thought today, instead of doing kind of like a stack of books or a series of books that I want to read because of BookTube, we would discuss this book that I actually just finished. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a physical copy to show you of, so I did make sure that I put the cover up on the screen. I read it on my Kindle. I am trying to get my hands on a hard copy just because I want it on my shelf. I loved the two books that much, and I cannot recommend these two books enough. Basically, the series London Belongs to Me is the first one, and in my January TBR, I called it the wrong thing. I think I said London is Calling, but it is London Belongs to Me, so I apologize for that confusion. But the first book is called London Belongs to Me. The two books are written by Jacquelyn Middleton, an indie author who, first off, is an amazing person. I've had conversations with her on Instagram, on Twitter, and it's, I don't know, like what do they call it? Celebrity shock or something like that. I don't know. I just love being able to talk to authors, but she seems like such a real and honest person, just like you're talking to your friend, not like you're talking to this fantastic author. So I thought that that was really cool. Anyways, so London Belongs to Me starts out following the story of Alex Sinclair, who is a college graduate from Florida who wants to move to London to fulfill her dream of becoming a playwright. Now, I don't want to give too much away in these books because honestly, I want you guys to go read them. But in talking about London Can You Wait, I am going to have to spoil a little bit of London Belongs to Me just because the second book follows very closely the aftermath of the first one. So, London Can You Wait, the second book in the series, kind of follows the after the happily ever after, is what I like to say. So, she's kind of made it big. Things in her life have gone well and they've succeeded. Things in her boyfriend's life are going really well. Their careers are really taking off. And Alex and Mark kind of have to figure out how to deal with that, because with success comes a lot of hardship, especially when you're trying to have a relationship, and a long distance one at that, because Mark is an actor and so he has to go gallivanting all across the globe really for different shoots and movies and all these other things. So that is something that they kind of have to deal with at the beginning of the book. One of the things that I kind of hate in the chick lit type world, whether that be the Hallmark movies or books, contemporary fiction, anything that kind of has that relationship as the main plot, I don't like it when the female's character is completely enveloped in the relationship, and that is who she is. She's the girlfriend, she's the wife. Whatever her title is as relation to the man, that's just who she is. And if there's a conflict in that relationship, she just kind of ceases to exist as a person. And Jacquelyn Middleton was very careful as to make sure that that did not happen to Alex. Even though she's in a relationship, she is her own person. She is fulfilling her own dreams. She is working on her own life. And that is something that I was able to relate to, because, you know, I am married, but I'm not just a wife. I am very much my own person, and so I feel like that was really important for her to do, and for her to really, it wasn't even that it was subtle, like, it was very definitive that, like, Alex is her own person. She is not looking to Mark for every answer and every decision, and while that's important in the communication in the relationship is important, and there were problems because they didn't communicate, it was very evident that Alex's life did not cease to exist when Mark wasn't around. She still was her own person. I understand that I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but that is how emphasized I feel like it was. And I think that that's really important, especially in one of these like women's literature chick flick type books. Another aspect of the book that I really enjoyed and really appreciated that Jacquelyn Middleton did so well is the fact that Alex Sinclair does deal with anxiety and panic attacks. It was sort of addressed in the first book, just that she kind of had anxiety, but wasn't dealt with, at least not in a very healthy way. And so in London Can You Wait, Jacquelyn Middleton really took that seriously. That was something that was addressed. Alex went to a counselor. She sought help when she realized that she couldn't do this on her own, that anxiety was part of her life, and that there was something that she needed to do in order to kind of get a handle on it and a grasp on it and not let it define her life. Anxiety is something that I see in a lot of books that just completely envelops a character. And it's like, so-and-so is a character who has anxiety. And that is their character definition. And I hate that. Because as someone who deals with anxiety, that's not who I am. That's not the definition of me. Yes, I have anxiety. Yes, I do deal with that. And I have these problems. But that's not who I am. That's only a part of who I am. It's something that I have. And I think that that's really important. I think YA books are a little bit more prone to this, to where they just kind of make it part of your character description, and then everything about that character revolves around this mental health disorder. And Jacquelyn Middleton did a very good job about making it a part of Alex, but not all of Alex. So yes, it was played up. There were some very serious episodes that she had in this, especially in the second book. She did a really good job about showing that this is a problem that Alex has in her life, and then the steps to get to that solution in order to not let that aspect of your life control the rest of it. And it talked about her going to a counselor and going to therapy and just dealing with it in a very healthy way. It even talked about like different ways that Alex worked through the anxiety, different ways of coping, and breathing exercises and all these other things that they're real. It truly seemed like she either did her research, or it's something that she deals with in her personal life, whether it's her or a loved one. It's not something that she just kind of like started writing about and just made up as she went along, which I very much appreciate because it seemed real. I understand that I'm now going on a lot about anxiety, but this is kind of a passion of mine because I have read books where it was just either horribly written, whether it be anxiety or depression or a host of other mental health disorders, and it's either horribly written or it doesn't seem believable. So overall, like, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the book, and it made it just seem believable and easy to read. So overall, the two books, the London Belongs to Me and London Can You Wait, they're fantastic books. They're easy reads. I think I finished London Can You Wait maybe in like 3 sittings. London Belongs to Me, it was a little bit longer, but like the big chunk of the book was read in like 1 sitting. It's just that gripping. She does a really good job of like ending the chapter on a kind of a cliffhanger, and then even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you are like, well, I have to read the next chapter because I have to know how this ends. I have to know what happens. So there were plot twists in the book that even though like I read a lot of chick lit, I'll be honest, there were some plot twists I didn't see coming. So it wasn't your typical boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, they fight, they break up, they get back together. I mean, like, things like that happen, but like the way that she did that the way that she kind of wrote that story, it was there. I didn't expect everything that happened to happen. So I very much enjoyed it. I cannot recommend these books enough to you guys. If you are the type of person that likes these light and fluffy chick lit type contemporary books, you're gonna love this book. Also, I love the fact that Alex is kind of a nerd. And by kind of, I mean extremely. The first book like has so many pop culture references. It talks on multiple occasions how Alex's ringtone is the Sherlock theme. She talks about Doctor Who, the movie or show that Mark is in. I feel like has kind of like a supernatural vibe to it. Obviously it's not, because it's a made up show. But yeah, it's very, they talk about geek cons and comic cons, and it's overall like nerd heaven. And I mean, being a big Doctor Who fan and Marvel fan, all these kind of, like, I'm a nerd, she's a nerd. I feel like Alex could be my best friend. Like, let's be perfectly honest. She's that cool. And that's another reason why the book was so easy to read. Alright, so that is day one of the video. Wait, what are they calling it? Strikeback Video-A-Thon. And like I said, I'm going to try and post for the next 30 days. I'm going to post some sort of bookish content, whether or not that be reviews, TBRs, hauls. I've been working on my calendar for the next 30 days, seeing what I got planned, and I'm very, very excited about what's coming up. So even though it's a little bit depressing and upsetting that YouTube has kind of enforced these new policies, there's not any talk about whether or not this is going to be permanent or not. But for the time being, going forward, we're just going to band together. And the BookTube community is strong and we are mighty. And we, you know, even though YouTube may not love us, there's a lot of love in this BookTube community. And I'm so excited that I decided to become a part of it. And I hope that you guys are excited too. I hope that this continues to be a channel that you guys see value in. I know that I am kind of straying away from what I had originally started this channel out to be, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying making this content, and I hope that you enjoy watching it. So let's talk, guys. Today, because I talked about my favorite book that I found because of YouTube. BookTube made me do it. Why don't you guys put in the comments below what book that you have recently picked up, or an all-time favorite book that you picked up because you saw a booktuber recommend it. Who knows, we might all find some new favorites. So check out those comments down below, see what other people are talking about, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.